Nosey Neighborz, the fragrance channel for beginners, casual users, and the fragrance enthusiasts. And the purpose of this channel is to provide you guys with reviews, lists, information, thoughts, and personal experiences as related to fragrances. All right, and real quick, what I like to do is I like to go down memory lane just momentarily and talk about my introduction into the world of fragrance. With my earliest memories of fragrance actually being with Vanilla Fields by Avon. My grandmother used to sell Avon back in the day, and that was the first fragrance that I actually remember, and I think that I actually liked. But I don't have that, nor do I actually have a good reason to own that one. But anyways, the fragrance I'd like to talk about, let's talk about that. A fragrance by my grandmother, and how I came about getting that was, we used to do yard sales all the time, and she came across this fragrance and she was able to buy this fragrance for $1 or $2, to which I got it and I actually liked the fragrance. And this was my first bottle that I actually owned, despite it only being a few milliliters that was left in the bottle. So without further ado, the fragrance that I like to talk about real quick as we go down memory lane is this one. Youps, What About Adam? It might be a little difficult to see, but this is the bottle. I gotta be honest about this fragrance. I really just own this more so for nostalgia than anything else. But this fragrance is a dark vetiver bomb. It kind of has balsamic vibes to it. It's very, very different and unique. However, it does pack a punch, which most fragrances from the 80s and 90s did. And I got this bottle, my first bottle, when I was 12 or 13 years old, and I have fond memories of this fragrance, although my tastes have kind of grown and they're changed over time, and I don't have the same liking to it, although this is a decent fragrance. Unfortunately, this has been discontinued. Not exactly sure as to when they discontinued it, but I was able to pick this bottle up via eBay, and it kind of sits in with the rest of my collection. So there's a spot, but more of a nostalgic piece than anything. So this vetiver bomb is pretty damn good. I would say, as far as quality is concerned. Might not get many compliments with this fragrance, but again, this is more of a nostalgic piece for me than anything. It's the art involved that I like. It's unique and kind of dank, balsamic fragrance, and this was my first What About Adam by Youp. Now, the next fragrance that I would like to talk about is something that I have had quite a few bottles of. It doesn't pack a punch the way that it used to, which is kind of weird that you think about that at one point in time I used to spray maybe 10, 11 sprays on my neck, on my clothes, arms, hands, everywhere. And just for good measure, what I would do is I would spray it into the air. I mean, I'm a teenager, I'm 15, 16 years old, and I just got a job, and this is one of the first fragrances that I could afford. And this vanilla lavender mint bomb was one of the first, I want to say, masculine fragrances that I smelled that was not didn't have any hint of barbershop, but was sweet. And I absolutely love this fragrance. That would be this. It would be La Male by Jean-Paul Gaultier. All right, fragrance really needs no introduction, but this fragrance and I go way back, absolutely. And I remember this being the first fragrance that I wore that actually got me compliments, which made me want to wear it more and spray it more. Going down the hallways in high school, spritzing this, and again, like I said, I would spray it in the air like that, and I would just walk into the fragrance. I don't know, in my mind, it made sense. All right, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I mean, I'm 16 years old, so yeah. And last but not least, I'd like to talk to you guys about my introduction to the world of niche fragrances. 2012 time frame, to which basically Rick Ross, the rapper, like made a couple of references to Creed cologne, and that was enough for me to like Google it and figure out like what it was that he was talking about. And the fragrance that popped off the page, or that had the most mentions at the time, is a fragrance that probably needs no introduction. You already know like what that fragrance is without me like holding on to suspense of the matter. And that fragrance that I'm talking about is actually Creed Aventus. All right, here you go. So this fragrance right here, the first time smelling it, like, I probably got the same like emotion and same experience that most people did whenever they first smelled it. Like one, like what is it? And two, damn, that smells good. Yeah, immediately. Like I only had a sample of it that I ordered like online, and it came in the mail. I got a little bit on my hands, and like immediately like, oh, that's dank. Like what is that? And obviously that was a long time ago, so I'm not gonna go down the road of explaining like quality control and different things like that as it relates to like the House of Creed. But yeah, without even going down that route, just know that I probably had a different experience from like some other people that had probably just got into the world of niche, and specifically the world of Creed Aventus. And it was a game changer for me, knowing that there was this fragrance out there that was like super duper expensive, but I really liked it. Was enough for me to say, all right, I know that like there's some expensive pairs of shoes and like belts or like whatever else that I wanted to like waste my money on at the time, but this appealed to me so much to where like, all right, I need to save my money, and I'm going to go into the store and I'm going to purchase that, like no matter what it took. And that's what I did actually. I went into Saxon Avenue and I made the purchase, even though they try to give you the pitch and they try to tell you that, hey, this is the best quote unquote fragrance that they have, or most popular. Like I already knew. They try to sell me on some other stuff. I was like, look man, I have specifically enough money to buy this retail, and this is what I want specifically. Like, not to be rude and disrespectful or anything like that, but like, this is what I know what I want. You know what I mean? Like the Lord is my shepherd, he knows what I want. So that's pretty much my story with this. And obviously you guys know that it's pretty amazing fragrance. Like batch, like immaterial, like this is always going to be like, I don't want to call it the king of fragrance because there's so many other fragrances out there, but this was my introduction into the niche, and this is a hell of an introduction. All right, this is a hell of a segue into like bigger and better things, and like doing like niche and stuff like that. So this was my introduction, and like I don't regret it, because this is what caused me to not only appreciate niche fragrances at all, but it also caused me to appreciate the world of fragrance as a whole, and also get into the art, doing like Facebook groups, like listening to podcasts, and like specifically like hunting and like looking for different fragrances such as Aventus and other things like that, whether that be niche, you know, and or designer, you know, it didn't matter. Like this was like the turning point where I went from being like, I want to say a casual collector, you know, like casual collector being like a person that has enough fragrances for every day of the week, but like no more than that is how I would classify that, to being a fragrance enthusiast or a fragrance fanatic, or as we like to call in the world of fragrance, a frag head. Like this was the beginning for me. This is a game changer, and I never looked back. So in closing, I was able to take you guys down memory lane a little bit. I talked about 3 fragrances and like what they meant to me and how they've like helped get me to the point that I am now, which is a bona fide frag head, is what I like to call it. But yeah, like this was the beginning, but as you guys can tell, this is clearly not the end. Hope you guys stay tuned with me and continue to watch. Please like and subscribe, and check for more content on a regular basis, because I am going to continue to come along with it. All right, that is my goal, is to do videos and not allow you guys to get bored with me or what we do. I plan on having like many guests like coming through, and also not just talking or having discussions with me, but also like hosting episodes. This is Nosey Neighborz, and that's what Nosey Neighborz is about, is to get many different takes on the world of fragrance, because fragrance is art in my mind, and in order for you guys to actually get the gist, or get like different vantage point, different viewpoints, it's going to involve not just myself but also other people. So it's important. So closing, as always, please like this video, share, subscribe, do what you got to do, and stay tuned.